Okay, everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. What a day. History was made today in more ways than one, and we're going to talk about that. So a post-market wrap-up on this Wednesday, September 28th, 2022. People, not only did we have a rip-roaring rally on Wall Street, okay, because of the action of the Bank of England here. We'll talk more about that in a moment here. But the 10-year yield fell. Are you ready? Sit down for this one. 29 basis points. Not only, I'm laughing. I can't help myself. Not only did the 10-year yield plummet, the US dollar value, relative strength, fell through the freaking floor, okay? And on the back of that, gold and silver put on nice gains today. Crude oil took off. Look, this action today by the Bank of England is unfreaking precedented. Now, I want to explain this to you. So, we found out earlier, I covered this, quantitative easing is now back. The Bank of England is going to be buying debt yet again, but it gets better than that. So, according to the lovely Bank of England, they will now buy debt at whatever scale is necessary. Whatever scale is necessary. In other words, they will buy unlimited amounts of debt. Now, look, let me explain something else to you. You probably know this already if you follow this blog. First of all, let me start off with this. Nobody is further out there with regard to being ahead of the curve than you and I. You and I, over the past several weeks, we've been watching this play out blow by blow by blow as this debt market has become more and more unstable, on the cusp of a complete meltdown. Okay, what have I been saying? Some action must be taken by a central bank, by the central bank, so this whole thing was going to implode. I was wrong for a while. I really expected central banks to do something sooner, but look, the Bank of England here blinked, bam, unlimited QE. They'll do whatever it takes on whatever scale is necessary here to keep the debt market stable. Now let me ask you, while we're on that topic, an enormous amount of debt was purchased today. Did you see the US 10-year yield plummet like that? Like I just told you, who's buying it? Who's buying the debt? Oh, wow. I wonder who that could be. Certainly wasn't me. I don't think it was you. No, I don't think it was Janet Yellen or Mummy Man or Yellowstain. I don't know. No, it wasn't me, but you know exactly what I'm talking about here. What a move. If you recall, let me calm down a minute here. If you recall, okay, I explained to everybody that when the meltdown in the debt market really got started, we were going to see 20, 30, 40 basis point jumps higher on a daily basis with regard to the 10-year yield. But we watched it crater today like 30 freaking basis points. That's history. That has never happened before. History has been made today. Now, what I was going to say, okay, now let's pay attention to this. So we understand now, Bank of England here, they're going to buy on whatever scale is necessary. Where does that cash come from? They got to create it magically out of thin air. Just like every other central bank has to create it magically out of thin air. You know, magic. Magic. Yeah, just like that, okay? What is this going to lead to, people? The purchasing power of fiat currencies around the world is going to suffer. Inflation is going to get worse. What are we marching into? What are central banks locking in right now? What are they making sure is going to happen? Any guesses? A currency crisis on a global scale. We're already there. Why do you think, for example, we're seeing inflation surge around the world? Oh, is it because of The overnight lending rate that central banks like the Federal Reserve is raising every month? No, it's because the purchasing power of the currency is evaporating. It's economics 101, people. You can't make this up if you freaking try to. But the lie will continue. The distractions, the deception, the misinformation. They're going to keep telling you that central banks are serious. They're serious this time. They're going to really do something about surging inflation. Meanwhile, they're continuing to inflate, which is their goal. Henceforth, why the Bank of England is doing what they're doing right now. They're inflating. Every central bank's goal is to inflate, and then inflate some more. For how many years have I explained this to you? I am so happy for you to actually see what I've been explaining to you for years unfold in real time. You know how many people have called me out over the years? Greg, you're wrong about the debt market. It's not going to play out like that. Oh, Greg, you're wrong. And here it is in your face. Where are all those people now? Oh, I don't hear a thing. Imagine my shock. Look, I don't make this stuff up, okay? All I do is try to direct your attention in the right spots, tell you what to look for, and allow you to make up your own decision here. You have been watching this meltdown here in the global debt market. Okay, you've been watching bond yields surge as debt has been selling off in a liquid market. There are so many, even alternative news outlets talking about a bond market collapse, a bond market meltdown. Finally, these people are getting on the bandwagon. Instead of having you focus on the damn stupid, stinking, putrid stock market, they now want you to look at the driver. Duh! It's about time. I've been telling people this since day one. Look at that debt market. Look at that debt market. Look at that debt market. When Greg Hunter and I used to do all these shows together, I was maybe his only guest that used to tell people, watch the debt market, watch the debt market. I wonder who we got to replace me. I don't know. I blow ponies. Bo Poloni. Look, anyway, look. Let us move forward here. So, nice rally on Wall Street. Gold and silver did phenomenal today. You got crude oil taking off. Cryptocurrency staying about flat. But I want to talk about a couple other things. So we already outlined for you what's eventually going to happen. And do you really think this is by accident? Why are central banks in a race to the bottom? Why are central banks deliberately sucking hard the freaking purchasing power of their currency away? Because they want to create inflation. They're going out of their way to inflate. They're destroying their currencies by design to institute a completely new system. I just finished doing an interview with Kate Daly on the Alex Jones Show live. I hope some of you caught it, where we covered a lot of this here. But this is no surprise to you. You already know this. Look, you and I are so far ahead of the curve. It's just not even funny. But doesn't this seem kind of simple to you? Look, I don't have a crystal ball. All this is cause and effect. Cause, effect. If this thing happens, the effect is going to be this. That's all this is, okay? You don't need a degree in rocket science or anything else to just have your eyes open just a tiny bit and realize what's going on here. So central banks are now pushing us faster because of the action here of the Bank of England into a full-blown currency crisis. Look, they can't have it both ways. You understand? Central banks are eventually going to bring the entire financial system to its knees. A full-on collapse, a lockup of the system. I've been telling you this for how long? Long time, okay? Part of this, obviously, is a full-on currency implosion along with the debt market implosion. All the currencies that are issued by central banks are units of debt. They are not units of wealth. You don't even own these things, people. Every single person, every one of you out here, wherever you are in the world, okay? And this is a pretty big channel now that is watching me speak. You don't even own these things. These things that you go out and work for, slave for every single day, pay your bills with and everything else, you don't own these things. These are owned by the issuing central bank. Plus interest, it's owed back to the central banks plus interest. They're owned by the central banks, owed back to the central banks plus interest that they create out of thin air. Like magic. Magic. Yeah. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. Imagine that. So let us move forward. So JP Morgan, recession is a lock. Okay. JP Morgan. And how about a double? Really? You got to be kidding me. So here's some information on the economy I think you need to know about. Pending home sales now hit an 11-year low, falling for 9 consecutive months. Prices are dropping at their fastest pace ever. That trend is going to continue. Mortgage refinancing hits a 22-year low. Now, all of you know who my friend Chuck Barone is, okay? He's a mortgage guy. Go ask him what he thinks about this, okay? Chuck is going to tell you the truth. Chuck is a good guy, okay? Most of you probably here subscribe to Chuck. If you do not subscribe to Chuck, I'm going to ask you to do that. There's a link in the description of this video to Chuck Barone's channel. Go check him out if you haven't been there before. He's the guy to talk to about real estate and mortgages. He's going to tell you to you straight. He's not going to sugarcoat it. Okay. Anyway, it's kind of interesting, people, if you ask me. You and I today, like I said, I think the first words out of my mouth this morning were, remember this day. History is being made. Not only did the Bank of England here institute another round of quantitative easing, and they're going to buy it all. Don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. On whatever scale is necessary. That means, people, they're going to buy it all. And that, in coordination with central banks, who obviously do coordinate with each other, are going to bring us right into, again, a currency crisis, a debt market meltdown. What we're seeing now, this relief here in the market, okay, you think this is going to last? Really? Because I can tell you, you turn on CNBC, Bloomberg, Fox Business, they're orgasmic. They're orgasmic. They're literally having an orgasm on the show. They can't help. Look at the market. Whatever. But this is going to last. This is going to last. Eventually, this is going to melt down. This is a Band-Aid. And I'm telling you, we're going to need to look. This may be a 1 day or 1 week phenomenon. You and I, we don't have to guess at all when the big meltdown is going to come. Did you watch the MMRI today? It cratered on the back of the plummeting relative strength of the dollar and the nearly 30 basis point drop in the freaking 10-year yield. Oh, allow me to make this face, because if I don't, I will go nuts. Okay, I'm good. That's all it takes to me. I just need a moment to just get it together once in a while, people. Anyway, so look, I hope you're understanding what's happening here. But I'll tell you what I want. I want to hear from you, okay? I believe, sincerely, that I have the most far ahead of the curve audience of anybody, okay? All of you are so freaking smart. You really are, okay? I read the comments. I look at the questions remember this. There's no such thing ever as a stupid question. A stupid question is a question that's not asked. Don't feel dumb about asking a question about anything. There's no such thing. If you're smart enough to ponder a question, no matter how dumb you may actually think it is, believe me, it puts you light years ahead of anybody. Okay, so you ask questions, write them down here. If I don't get to answer it, someone else will. There are so many smart people that follow this blog. It's staggering to me. Look, me, compared to some of you out here, I'm like a mental midget, a mental moron compared to some of you out here. Believe me, I read the comments. You guys and girls are smart. Anyway, I'm proud to say that. Greg Mannarino's audience is freaking smart. Truly, truly. And I love all of you. So I want to hear from you. What do you think about all this? Is it making sense to you? You're finally seeing this, those of you that maybe are new here. This channel is growing very, very fast. Very fast. And I want to thank all of you. You're all doing it. It's not me. I'm nowhere. You can't find me on a single social network. I banned myself from F-Book. You know what that really stands for, right? I got banned from Twitter. I got banned from LinkedIn. I'm nowhere. If you see somebody pretending to be me on a social media outlet, it's not me. You're going to find me here. You're going to find me in my free newsletter, on my website, in the chat room, and on Steemit. That's it. I'm nowhere else. So it's you. It's all of you getting the word out there. And I thank you all from the bottom of my heart, because we're making a difference. We're making a freaking difference. Look at what's going on around you. Even the mainstream media is starting to pick up on things that you and I have discussed how long ago? Finally, it's coming around. They can't hide the truth. The truth is inescapable. Let me explain that to you too. You know, you have a little dark secret lurking around and you think it's going to stay that way. How about no? It never will, whether it takes a day, a month, a year, or 10 years. It's going to come out. You're always better off telling the truth. Always. Okay? As bad as the consequences might be in the immediacy, you're way better off. Always. And the truth will set you free. It's the truth. Anyway, look, I'm out here. I'm going on and on and on and on. So ponder the things I've spoken about. We are marching into a currency crisis, people. A debt market crisis and a currency crisis on an unprecedented scale here. And it's been reassured now by this new round of quantitative easing by the Bank of England. And this whole thing with the 10-year yield plummeting here, MMRI cratering here, global bond yields now dropping. This is just a temporary phenomenon. So don't get used to it. All right. See you tomorrow.